We were washed out yesterday, and we're back here today. Andrew Maya with Noel Ferry up here in the booth for Game 2 of the Lake County Corn Dogs and the Northwest Indiana Oilmen. Noel, the last game was played 2 days ago on Thursday. The Corn Dogs came out the victors 5-0 after a huge bomb in the seventh where they scored 4 runs without putting the ball in play.
Yeah, great pitching from the game overall. We only saw 2 pitchers for the Corn Dogs in Brett Mathis and Bryce Schaum, Munster Mustang. He came into the game and had 9 strikeouts. So clearly that is a bright spot for this team. But if there is something that they need to improve upon, it is the extra base hitting. We have not seen an extra base hit from the Corn Dogs yet this season. And we've barely even seen any RBIs from them this season. So if they're going to win some more games, especially against a tough team like the Oilmen, pitching might not hold up tonight. We're going to need to see some power hitting.
And it doesn't help that the wind has also been blowing in, but you're right, no extra base hit yet for the Lake County Corn Dogs through the first 2 games. Tyler Schultz had the closest one, but he got robbed against the Vikings on Monday. And I'm going to ask you, Noel, what's your Off-Square Brewing stat of the game?
So clearly, like I said, they have not had many extra base hits at all. In fact, they haven't had a single one. But in total, over the season, the Corn Dogs have stolen 7 bases so far and not been caught stealing once. So they've been able to make up for that a little bit, and I think that if they can get some more stolen bases tonight, then they're looking good.
Yeah, they were able to steal 5 bases in the last game against the Oilmen. Jaden Deal had 2 of them, so he looked really impressive on the base pass. And then for the misprint matchup preview tonight, we're going to talk about the pitchers. It's Frank Plezak going for the Corn Dogs, and he was electric in his first appearance in a Corn Dog uniform when he came out of the bullpen.
Star-studded family there, the Plezaks, but Frank is looking to make a name for himself now in the Northern League.
Then we have Francis Quinn, who played for the Fighting Bees of St. Ambrose University, and he had made 10 appearances. All of them were starts, and he did pretty well for him. He just had an ERA above 4.
It's a star-studded bullpen for the Oilmen. Clearly, they're one of the best teams in the Northern League, so it's going to be a great matchup tonight.
And for the University of Chicago Medicine injury report, we are happy to say that all the Corn Dogs are healthy and ready to go tonight. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, first pitch and starting lineup from Legacy Field. Thank you for tuning in to the Corn Dogs pregame show.
Batting 6th and playing third base, number 20, Daniel Papuava. Batting 2nd and catching, number 12, Jason Deal. Batting 8th and playing first base, number 34, Donovan Nantup. Batting 9th and playing center field, number 28, Austin Ridgway. And pitching tonight for the Corn Dogs, number 21, Frank Plezak. Tonight's Corn Dogs starting lineup brought to you by Purdue Federal Credit Union, proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, remove your caps, and direct your attention to home plate. Singing tonight's national anthem, Chris Hassara. Oh, say, and you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through
That was Chris Balsera singing the national anthem. You also heard the voice of the best dressed public address announcer in the league in Tom. And Noel, it's going to be a fun one again today. It's game 2 of the Lake County Corn Dogs and the Northwest Indiana Oilmen. And again, we've talked about it in the pregame show. The Corn Dogs won 5-0, but the way they did it was through a lot of walks and hit by pitches.
Definitely. We're going to need to see a little bit more offense from the Corn Dogs tonight. You know, it's great to have the pitching, but that is not going to be the case every game. Bryce Schaum threw one heck of a game as we see the first pitch thrown out. However, and I'm sure Coach Justin Heisman is also looking for that. He talked about it earlier after the game, a couple days ago. He said that it's great to score those runs through the walks and the hit by pitches, but he really wants to see the bats get active tonight.
And he even said it just seems like no one in the league so far has seen the ball very well. And it's fair to note that a lot of these players have been on hiatus for a few weeks because their seasons have already ended. Or maybe, they've been playing a long season and then they're joining here. Jaden Deal is behind the plate. He's catching his 3rd straight game for the Corn Dogs because the Corn Dogs are still shorthanded in that position through the first 2 games and entering the 3rd.
Definitely. I cannot imagine the toll that it is taking on his knees as of right now. I even heard him saying in the dugout that he was thankful that they did not have a game yesterday. A well-deserved rest for Jaden Deal.
On the mound for the Lake County Corn Dogs is Frank Plezak, the right-hander from Bethel College in South Bend, Indiana. In this last year with the Pilots, he had a 6-5 record and a 3.24 ERA, where he pitched 86 innings, which he was a workhorse for the Pilots this last season, where he allowed 73 hits, 41 runs, 31 of them were earned, had 13 walks, and he struck out 83, which led to him reaching the conference first team, all-conference team. So he was phenomenal for them all season long. And he already pitched 1 inning this year against the Southland Vikings where he struck out the side.
Just one of the many Crown Point natives that we have here on the Corn Dogs. And it's great for fans to see it. Nanfeld, obviously, a Crown Point native, and he's happy to be home. That's why he made his walk-up song What It Is.
And with the Oilmen coming up to the plate, we'll give you their starting lineup. And tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Purdue Federal Credit Union, proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs. Leading off for the Oilmen, stepping up to the plate, is Dom Curcio. And then batting second, he's on deck, is Tyler Famacannon. Baker, Marshall, and Hodges bat 3, 4, 5. Joe Consenza will bat 6th. And then rounding out the lineup today for the Oilmen is Arnecki, Cabeza, and Remkis. So we're ready to go here. Plezak coming out of the stretch and the pitch. And it's right down Broadway for strike 1. The first pitch is registered at 6:54. So we're starting 6 minutes early today, which is great for us because it's a beautiful day. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-2 to Curcio. And before Plezak can fire a pitch, let's look at the outfield real quick. Going from left to right for the Corn Dogs is Hanson, Ridgway, and Ferry. Counts 0-2. Here comes the pitch. Hit out to left field. Hanson just heard his name is moving in, and he makes the play for the first out.
Talked to Hanson before the game today. He made an absolutely amazing diving catch the other day. It's just routine for him right now. He said that he's always waiting for his guys to tell him if they're going to catch it or not, but obviously with little chemistry, the Corn Dogs aren't really used to playing with each other, so he said he just had to put his body on the line.
He did make that phenomenal play. It ended up being the play of the game. And the first pitch, strike to Tyler Famacannon. Yeah, that player of the game is sponsored by University of Chicago Medicine. So that was rewarded to Scott Hansen for his great play the other night. The 0-1 is another strike, 0-2. 5 pitches, 5 strikes for Frank Plezak. He's off to a very effective and an efficient start. You said the 3 C's the other day. I give you the 2 E's.
Effective, efficient.
0-2. Called strike 3. Paints the corner. Frank Plezak. Did not take him long to pick up his 4th strikeout of the season against just 5 hitters.
Frank obviously feeling very comfortable out there in the 2 games, now 3 games that he's been a part of the Corn Dogs.
And talking about a former NCCAA National Student Athlete of the Week after he threw a complete game shutout against Dakota Falls, where he struck out 9 hitters. And 3 hitters have now seen a first pitch strike from Frank Plezak. And he's wasting no time throwing that breaking ball. And he's going with a first pitch fastball. He likes to work backwards with the breaking ball going first, and then going back to the fastball. He also offers a changeup, 0-1. That's down low. And no, there it is. There's the first ball thrown by Frank Plezak tonight. It was a ball in the dirt.
We saw a lot of corner painting from Shawm and Mathis the other day. Like you said, Plezak, he switches it up. He's got a little bit deeper of a bag than other Corn Dogs we have on the team.
Baker batted leadoff in the last game where he went 1 for 4. He's batting third today, and he takes that one outside. 2-1 is the count with 2 outs. Just getting on their way from Legacy Field on a 72-degree night with 8-mile-per-hour winds blowing in from right field. Count is 2-1. Plezak's at the belt, and he fires the pitch, and he goes back to the outside corner for strike 2. He also had this phenomenal week where he threw 2 complete game shutouts. One was against Spring Arbor and the other against Goshen, where he struck out 19 hitters over those 18 innings. Had a .64 ERA. 2-2. Ground ball to the right side, foul. So we're due 2-2 again. And if Plezak can get a shutout inning to start off his day, that would mark 17 consecutive innings where the Corn Dogs have not surrendered a run. The last run they surrendered was all the way back on Monday against the Vikings. Since then, nothing but goose eggs.
In terms of broadcasting, Corn Dogs fans listening in have yet to see the opposing team score a run against the Corn Dogs.
The player that scored that run was actually 2 runs scored that inning. The last player to cross the plate was Blaze Cano, who scored on a Sean Moore ground out to short with Tyler Schultz. The 2-2, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Frank Plezak strikes out the last 2 hitters he faces, and another 1-2-3 inning for the Corn Dogs. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Oilmen nothing, and Lake County coming up to the plate. Home half of the first after Frank Plezak was able to strike out the last 2 hitters he faced, one by the looking variety of Tyler Famakannon, and then Chris Baker could not catch up to Frank Plezak's fastball. And before we start this bottom of the second, Robin Salzadier with That Properties is a proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs. Whether you are purchasing a new home or selling the one you currently own, Robin specializes in obtaining the best price in Northwest Indiana. Call her today at 312-671-0034. Again, that number is 312-671-0034. And the man on the bump for the Oilmen this afternoon is Frank Quinn. Don't call me Francis, as it's labeled on his St. Ambrose roster. And he comes in with a 5.13 ERA coming out of St. Ambrose. And he is a tall, lengthy pitcher. Just look at the levers on this kid. He's 6'7", and he weighs 210 from Chicago, Illinois. The pitch is down the middle for strike 1 to Donovan Noble, who spent the last year with the Crestwood Panthers, where he batted a .322 for the squad, now making his first plate appearance in a Corn Dogs uniform. Quinn is paused, and he fires one down low, 1-1. His former high school teammate, Gavin Terry, will not be here tonight. He is on the road looking for a new home, as he told me that he's transferring to a school somewhere, just looking for that special place. The 1-1 in tight to Noble, 2-1.
Yeah, the two attended Gwendolyn Brooks College Prep, a pretty prestigious baseball school. Noble was able to be the starting shortstop for the team and batted a .437.
Wow, batting well over 400. 2-1, hit into right field. Hodges just goes over to his left, and he makes the play. And once again, we mentioned it in the top of the first. That wind is blowing in from right. You saw it there playing the factors. Noble hit that ball hard, but it died instantly and found the glove of Jason Hodges. One gone.
Number 27, Jacob Ferry.
I'll say one thing, Noel. I did miss the Corn Dog fans yesterday, as that rain prevented us from playing. But it's good to see a good crowd on hand here again. If you haven't made your way out, make sure you do. And Ferry serves one into right field. This is a high fly ball. Hodges racing after it. He crashes in, but then slows down, camps underneath it, and makes the play for the second out.
Yeah, you could tell that one was brought back by the wind. Hodges had to run for it a little bit, but nothing too concerning for him. I'm just really looking forward to when we can get some wind blowing out, and maybe we can see some bombs here.
It's 320 down the lines and about 380 to center field. So I'm only estimates around 340 to 350 into the power alleys. Schultz is at the plate. He sees his first pitch, and it's down the middle for strike one. Schultz went 0 for 2 in the last game, but drew a couple walks. He tied for first in batting average with Brett Mathies, who is not in today's starting lineup. 0-1, outside 1-1. Schultz, before the game today, said that when he was with Crestwood last year, just like Donovan Noble, who started off this inning, Schultz said he did a TikTok when he was there. 1-1, in on the hands in a jam shot foul, 1-2. And asked me if maybe we wanted to start a TikTok. And I'm kind of curious if the fans would love to see Tyler Schultz do these TikToks.
Yeah, definitely let us know if that's something you guys would be interested in. Unfortunately, Schultz said he had to retire from TikTok after breaking his hand last season.
But then he came back and had a phenomenal season for PNW. The 1-2, up and away, 2-2. You said it was just if I remember correctly, he told me he broke his hand during catching up with the Corn Dogs. He was sliding into second or third. It was something like that. And then he could not play the rest of the season for Crestwood. 2-2. And another foul ball off the pole. Coming back to the catcher's Arnecki. We'll do 2-2 again with 2 outs. Bases empty, bottom of the first. Oilman and Corn Dogs in their second game. They played on Thursday, but then due to the weather, could not play yesterday. Quinn gets his sign after he had the leather on his chest. He's set. The 2-2. It's swing and a miss. A beautiful changeup from Quinn as he pulls the string and picks up his first strikeout this game and for the season. We're through 1 inning. It's no score. We're through one, and there's no score between the Oilmen and the Corn Dogs. And before we kick off our top of the second inning, just a friendly reminder that Athletico Physical Therapy, proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs, we treat you, not just your injury. Visit athletico.com to book your appointment today. Just talking about injuries with Tyler Schultz breaking his hand, I wonder if he went to Athletico and got it treated.
Definitely sounds like the best place to go and
Yeah.
get an injury treat.
Because they treat you, not your injury. Won't forget that one. That'll be in my head for a few months after the season ends. Marshall at the plate. He hits one to the left side, and it goes through the legs of Poplava. It looks like Poplava was expecting it to take a hop, but instead it stayed down on the lip and went right through the legs, Bill Buckner style, in the left field. We'll see, and that goes down as an E5 on Poplava. But again, just looked like a really tough play for Poplava over there at third base. Let's see if Frank Plezak can work his way around the leadoff error. You'll have to do battle against Jason Hodges. Hodges went 0 for 3 in the last game against the Corn Dogs. And here's the pitch. It hits one off the end of the bat to Tyler Schultz. Schultz is going to fire over the first base, and they will not get Marshall, who was able to freeze just a quarter of the way to second base. He realized I was heading right for Schultz, and there's one gone now. So the ground ball goes out as an error, and then Schultz was able to pick up an out, and there's one gone, and then Cosenza will now come up to the plate with a runner on first base.
Schultz, one of the better infielders for the Corn Dogs this year. We've seen some phenomenal plays from him.
We have. The pitch, and that's just below the knees of Cosenza, 1-0. Cosenza also went 0 for 3. He's batting at 154 on the season, where he has 2 hits and 13 at-bats. The 1-0 hit down the line and foul, as we see a couple of fans down that right field line trying to make the play, but we'll have to wait. You know, we've seen a lot of history. First hit, first strikeout, first run scored. Wait for the first Corn Dog fan to make a play. And then we'll put them in the history books, just because we can. 1-1, the pitch. Breaking ball stays up on Cosenza. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Frank Plezak on the mound. The brother of Cleveland Guardians starting pitcher, Zach Plezak, who was also a freshman of the year when he was at Ball State before he got drafted. The 2-1 is blown by Cosenza, 2-2. And he also just comes from a long line of successful athletes in baseball. Joe Plezak, his uncle, had been drafted by the Padres. His uncle, as many know, is on MLB Network. Dan Plezak, first player drafted out of Crown Point High School to Milwaukee Brewers. The 2-2 is down low, backhanded by Deal. Count will move to 3-2.
It's always difficult when you have that star-studded of a family. You feel a lot of pressure on you as an athlete, but from what we've seen so far this season, it appears that Frank is up to the task.
Frank's a pretty laid-back guy, too. We've had some conversations with them, and just doing what he can. Payoff pitch. Clobbered into left field, but the wind's going to knock it down as Hansen moves towards the line, and he slaps leather on it for the second out. Again, it just seems like nothing is carrying tonight here at Legacy Fields. It is wide open in center to left. There's a few trees, but not too many buildings. So the wind's coming in at full strength. And I thought that ball had a good chance of heading towards a warning track, but all he had to do is move to his right and make the play. And Zarnicki's going to come up now.
If you do get a good piece of the ball today, it looks like it's just going to go straight up into the air.
Well, again, going back to Frank, his uncle, Dan, played for the Brewers, Cubs. Here's the pitch, and that's a strike. Over the top curveball from Plezak, 0-1. And it was a good amount of teams that he pitched for. I remember Toronto's on that list too. But he also has 2 cousins currently in the minor leagues, Blaze Alexander with the Arizona Diamondbacks and C.J. Alexander with the Atlanta Braves. Runner thought about going but froze, and a foul ball down the line, 0-2 to Zarnicki.
That's probably for the best. Jaden Deal is dangerous behind the plate. We've seen him make some great throws to second base to pick off a couple runners, I believe, so far this season.
He did catch a runner in the last game. That was David Marshall, who thought he had a good dirt ball read, but instead was thrown out. 0-2. That's blocked by Deal. not only has a good arm, but it can also drop down, keep the ball in front of him, prevent any free bases for the Oilmen. It's 1-2. So after you go to the breaking ball in the dirt, do you think that Plezak climbs the ladder and goes to the fastball here? Changes some eye levels?
I think that's the best option. Trying to end the inning, just give it everything you've got, catch him swinging.
The current Bethel Pilots ready to go. The pitch, runner on the move, that's upstairs. Throw from Deal was low and almost got Plezak. But Plezak was able to get out of the way. And on that play, Marshall moves up to second base for a successful stolen base. And for Marshall, that was his first stolen base on the year, as he was thrown out by Deal in the last game, and now Marshall wins this battle. So maybe tomorrow or later on in this game, we could see round 3 between Marshall and Deal. It's 2-2, 2 outs. Here we go. The pitch. And off the end of the bat to the right side, Nanfield picks it up. He's going to flip it over to Plezak, who covers the bag. Did they get him? And he did. Frank Plezak. He can throw strikes, get outs, and he can cover first base after coming off the mound. Who said pitchers aren't athletes? We're through 1.5. It's still Oilman nothing and the Corn Dogs nothing. Bottom of the second inning, and Backcourt Bar and Beverage Services can handle every type of event from venues to weddings to indoor and outdoor parties. Visit bcbarcatering.com and let us start planning the perfect event for you. That's bcbarcatering.com. I mean, it looks like a party tonight, too. Noel is once again a very successful crowd. And we talked to Ralph Flores, the owner of the Corn Dogs, before the game today. And I asked him, I said, did you ever find a final number on how many people attended the game on Thursday? And he said, well, the estimate was around 300 to 400, which I thought would have been spot on. But then he started doing some math. He thinks there's around 500 people that were packed into Legacy Fields on Thursday to witness history here in Crown Point, Indiana, and not just Crown Point, but in Lake County, as the Corn Dogs played their first home game and won 5-0. So not only did they play their first home game, they won their first game in history.
You know you've done something good when all the seats are filled and you have fans having to stand in multiple rows to see the game.
Standing room only here at Legacy Field. The first pitch to Hansen is hit off to the left and foul. And Scott Hansen made the play of the game, which is sponsored by University of Chicago Medicine. But he got the first RBI hit here at Legacy Fields, home of the Corn Dogs, that started the game off for Lake County, won that game 5-0. But after his RBI hit in the right field, took a while for the Corn Dogs, or any team for that matter, to get back on the board. And it was that interesting, I think it's a good word to put it, bottom of the 7th inning, where the Corn Dogs scored 4 runs on 5 walks and 2 hit by pitches. The 1-1. Broken bat, left side. Here comes Cosenza. Cosenza throws on the run and retires Scott Hansen. As that bat is now firewood for Hansen. He was beat by an inside fastball. There's 1 out.
Something we talked about the other day on Thursday is that the Corn Dogs needed to work on the situational hitting, and that's still the case. You know, they've stolen some bases, but they're looking to get on the board tonight, and we're ready to see some exciting offense. You know, it's great to see 5 runs scored, but the fans are hungry for some great gameplay.
They're hungry for some extra base hits, too. That's something the Corn Dogs have not yet done through their first 2 games. Can they do it tonight? Pitch to Loden. It's outside, ball 1. Well, this is one of the guys that could pick up that first extra base hit in Corn Dog history, is Doug Loden. 2 years ago for Joliet Junior College, hit 16 home runs, shattering the record there. And then after this previous season, he's done there, and he'll move up north, go to Michigan to play for University of Oakland. Big cut from Loden, just on top of the fastball, 1-1. It looks like to me that Frank Quinn, this 6'7", lengthy pitcher, likes to throw a 2-seam fastball, as that has some good arm side movement, running away from Loden, a left-handed hitter. Steps back into the box, slightly open stance, the pitch, and cut and the miss, 1-2. Great movement on that one. That could have been the changeup.
You could just tell Loden is out there, maybe not frustrated, but he is hungry for that extra base hit or even home run. I mean, he is absolutely swinging at everything.
Yeah, big, strong guy. Now he's more closed this time. The 1-2. And a swing and a miss, a ball in the dirt, as Zarnecki will just apply the tag and start the throw around the horn. And there's the second strikeout for Quinn in the second out of this inning. And before Paplava steps up to the plate, friendly reminder that Colonial Life, proud partner of Lake County Corn Dogs, keep unexpecting. Life is anything but expected, including our approach to employee benefits. Visit coloniallife.com to learn more today. Paplava's first pitch swinging. It goes off to our right for the first strike. Again, that's coloniallife.com to learn more today. Paplava committed an error in the top of the second inning, but lucky for him and for the Corn Dogs, Marshall did not come around to score, but he did steal second base and was stranded there. That's upstairs, 1-1. Quinn tried to go to the top of the zone, but just missed it.
Some of the guys still shaking off some rust from any time that they've had off from playing. I think Paplava's one of them. Committed an error in Thursday's game as well.
The 1-1, down low, a good take on the changeup, 2-1. Looking at some facts on Daniel Paplava, and stumbled upon an old roster of the Joliet Junior College. Actually, correction, he went to a different college. 2-1. Ground ball left side. It's going to be a tough play for Cosenza. He tries to barehand it, can't make the play, and that'll go down as an infield single for Paplava.
Paplava, a current student at Kankakee Community College.
Kankakee Community College. Well, anyway, he went to Kankakee Community College. He's still there. Had a great season for him. But so did the starting first baseman for the Oilmen on Thursday, Nick Anderson. Went there for a few years before Anderson headed off to another school. I believe it was St. Leo's to close out his collegiate career. But with COVID, it can be strange on if someone does still have another year of eligibility or not. So we'll see if Anderson's still continuing to play in college. Throw over the first, and it pops out of the glove of Marshall. The Corn Dogs hit their first hit of the game and the first hit of the game. Jaden Deal's at the plate. Deal behind the plate again today for the Corn Dogs. He's batting 7th. Picked up the first RBI base hit in Corn Dog history as he drove in Cal Curiel. Swing and a miss from Deal. Underneath that pitch, nothing in one.
lot of teammates throughout all these teams in the Northern League at surrounding colleges, and that's something that Justin Heisman quoted as a reason why he's confident in his players to gain chemistry so quickly.
You did a press conference type interview with him in the last game. 0-1. It's hit off to the right. It just tapped the plate, and it's foul, nothing in 2. But we had him, sit behind the desk and in front of the backdrop that's behind us right now. And you saw that backdrop in the pregame show if you're here to tune in. But you asked him that question. You said you have players coming in that haven't been with the team just yet because they're still finishing out their seasons. How's that going to affect team play? And he said, well, a lot of these guys have played together, so nothing really to worry about. And you kind of saw it today with Schultz and Noble. 0-2 and a swing and a miss. Deal is down on strikes as the Corn Dogs strand 1. We're through 2. We go to the third. It's still 0-0. We're through 2 scoreless frames as has been beautifully pitched by Frank Plezak of the Corn Dogs and Frank Quinn of the Oilmen. But before we head to the third inning, we're going to hand it off to Noel Ferry, who have the play-by-play for the next 2 innings. Here you go, Noel.
Thank you, Andrew. And just a friendly reminder, Crown Antique Mall is a proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs. We offer a unique mix of antiques and collectibles. Visit crownantiquemall.net to view a list of our upcoming market dates. Top of the third here in Legacy Field. And another game of great pitching and a little bit of a slow start for the offenses so far. And you can just tell that the crowd is looking for some offense. I've been saying that this whole game. I've been saying that for the past 3 games. And I'm hungry for it too.
Well, say, Noel, at some point when you keep saying it, like the fans want it, maybe you want the more offense in these games. But
exactly.
It's exciting for a broadcaster to have a lot of offense, but you can always appreciate a good, well-pitched game and a lot of defense.
Sebastian Cabeza up for the Oilman. Frank Plezak delivers. Fouled off to the right. 0-1 the count. Yeah, I want some exciting calls. I want to get animated.
Yeah, I feel like I've been trying to hold in my home run call because we haven't even seen one really get close since the first game for Tyler Schultz.
Frank Plezak, the 0-1. Right down the middle. Strike 2 called. Yeah, it's just an incredibly deep bag that Frank Plezak has. He's able to switch it up and keep batters guessing out there.
Yeah, I have a good story about him and keeping batters guessing after this pitch.
The 0-2. Outside to the left. Ball 1. 1-2 the count. Top of the third. Still scoreless here.
He was pitching that 7th inning, sorry for that, against Chris McDevitt, and he threw him a changeup that hung, and McDevitt watched it go right down the middle for strike 3.
And there it is, strike 3 Frank Plezak gets another casualty here out in Legacy Field.
Batter for the Oilmen, number 8, Nolan Rinkus.
Yeah, and when you have 3 good pitches like Frank Plezak has, you're right. You can keep these hitters guessing. He has the good fastball that he can locate anywhere, a good breaking ball that looks like a fastball, but it's over the top and drops like 12-6, and then a changeup.
First pitch to Nolan Rinkus, and that's outside for ball 1. And when talking to Frank, like you said, he's really laid back, and you can tell he is very confident in his abilities, especially with that changeup. The 1-0, dropped by Jordan Deal outside again, 2-0.
You've been trying to pick up all the walk-up songs for the players coming into the season, and for Frank Plezak, he texted me and said, "Hey, are you taking the walk-up songs?" I said, "Yes. Which one do you want?"
The 2-0 hit. Tyler Schultz there, throws to first and gets Nolan Ring dropped. Donovan Nanfeld unable to hold on to the ball there. A little bit of miscommunication, and Nolan Rimkus is able to reach.
Now batting, number 1, Dom Crucio.
Yeah, Tyler Schultz there looked very confident over from short, just threw a ball that was too low, and Donovan Nanfeld couldn't handle it. And for the second consecutive inning, been an error committed on the Corn Dogs. And once again, Frank Plezak's going to have to work around it.
I got a little bit ahead of myself there. I'm so used to seeing Tyler Schultz just make these things look so easy. That throw a little errant. The first pitch to Dom Crucio, and that's outside for ball 1. Correction, strike called. 0-1 the count. Frank Plezak delivers the 0-1, and that's just outside for ball 1.
Well, anyway, he then proceeds to send me Goofy Goober Rock. I'm a Goofy Goober. That's what it's called. It's a parody of the Twisted Sisters song, I Wanna Rock. I asked him, like, you only want to go with the original? He said, no, that's a great song.
The 1-1, just outside again for ball 2.
And I know a lot of kids that are listening to the broadcast that grew up in that time frame when the first SpongeBob SquarePants movie came out would have to agree with them. It was a jam.
Oh, definitely. I don't know anyone in my elementary school who wasn't singing that song at lunch back in the day. Plezak, the 1-2, 2-1. That's back to Schultz once again, trying to go for the double. Gets him out at second and completes the double play. Donovan Noble able to make it to Donovan Nanfeld. Donovan connection. And a great heads-up play by Tyler Schultz. That's 3 outs in the top of the third. And we will be back with the bottom. Welcome back to Legacy Fields. Just a reminder, Dining Solutions at Wicker Park is the answer to your catering needs. Whether you have 50 or 400 guests, we can accommodate any type of occasion. Call us today at 219-923-3830 and let us help customize your next special event. And what an exciting end to the previous half inning that we saw with that double play. A great play by first appearance for Donovan Noble. able to convert the tough play. The pitch. Strike called.
For the Corn Dogs, number 34.
Frank Quinn able to get strike one on Donovan Nanfelt. Donovan Nanfelt on the season. The pitch, low, outside for ball one. Nanfelt on the season still has yet to record a hit. He's looking for his first one today. Played some pretty valuable minutes for the Corn Dogs at first base, however. Minutes. And that is fouled off to the right. Still in a basketball state of mind. Valuable innings, that is.
Yeah, you mean you started off with the Indiana Hoosiers women's basketball team, so the vocabulary is going to mix its way in there.
Exactly.
But the good news is a lot of these innings for the Corn Dogs have been quick, so it hasn't really felt like Nanfeld's played too many minutes over at first base.
No, definitely not, especially in these past two games. 1-2 the count. The pitch, swing and hit foul. Swung a little bit too early on that one. Nanfelt currently attending Purdue Northwest along with teammate Tyler Schultz. And they played their first game at home on their own home field for Purdue Northwest in Dowling Park in Hammond. The 1-2, just outside, 2-2 the count.
And Nanfeld's really got the good stirrups going on. He's incorporated the yellow into there, really being able to mix in all three colors of the Corn Dogs, blue, gold, and white.
Really some great uniforms we see for the Corn Dogs this year. The pitch, way outside for ball three, full count.
Yeah, I mean, we have the backdrop behind us, and for me, it reminds me of the 1980s look of the Milwaukee Brewers when they wore those colors.
Definitely. That's a classic colorway. You see lots of people wearing those hats. Frank Quinn receives the signal from his catcher, collects himself, delivers the 3-2, and that is outside. Donovan Nanfelt will reach on a walk from Frank Quinn.
And Nanfelt put up a good at-bat right there. The Corn Dogs, through the first two games, had an OBP of 377. That's on-base percentage. And you and I talked about it. Really no extra base hits to be talked about because there is none. Batting average wasn't really something to get excited about. But the Corn Dogs go up there and they try to put up as many quality ABs they can, get on base, and try to get the traffic going, try to create some havoc on the pitchers.
Austin Ridgway at the plate takes his first, outside for ball one. I said this a lot last game where we saw a couple different opportunities for the Corn Dogs to come alive in a big way, and this is another one of those cases. And I'm sure Coach Heisman is communicating that to his players as well. Quinn eyes Nanfeld at first. The 1-0, way outside once again. You got to be careful here if you're Quinn, because you do not want to end up in a similar situation to last game where you get bases loaded, mostly on walks, with no outs, and then the Corn Dogs score 4 runs on various occasions. Quinn keeping a close eye on Nanfelt at first. Tries to pick off, but too late. We've seen a lot of players take pretty generous leads off first throughout these games that we've seen so far this season. Haven't seen any successful pickoffs yet.
I want to knock on wood right now.
Exactly.
Might jinx it.
Broadcaster's jinx. The 2-0 fouled straight back by Austin Ridgway.
Yeah, with the runner on first base and no outs in the bottom of the order, I was curious to see if Heisman was going to have Ridgway bunt here because Ridgway does have good speed and he's a left-handed hitter, so he's closer to first base. And if he was able to lay one down successfully, the worst thing that could happen is they throw out Nanfeld at second base, but Ridgway does offer more speed than Nanfeld and could potentially steal second base and get back over there, but could also lead to Ridgway getting thrown out at first and then Nanfeld at second for the top of the order with Noble and Ferry.
Speed something they're missing today as that's fouled off to the left by Austin Ridgway. 2-2 the count without Gavin Terry, who offers a lot of speed for the Corn Dogs. And you can definitely see it not only when he's making plays in the outfield, but when he's stealing second.
He stole second a couple of times in the game against the Oilmen on Thursday. But not only that, but he put up some really good at-bats. The first 3 at-bats, he hit the ball extremely hard. And in his last at-bat, plate appearance, he reached on a walk and came around the score.
The 2-2, And that's popped up into the infield. And he reaches first on that as no one was home at first base. And we've got runners on first and second with no outs.
The rally going for the Corn Dogs, number 11, Donovan Noble.
Donovan Noble making an appearance for the Corn Dogs here.
And you and I talked about it. Ridgway's got good speed, and right there, he hit a Baltimore chop high in the air, and no one's covering first base. He's got hit into that Bermuda Triangle between the pitcher's mound, first and second. And right now, the Corn Dogs have something cooking in the bottom of the third.
2 runners on, first and second, Donovan Noble at the plate. Nanfeld once again taking a huge lead off second. The first pitch, we're almost in there to hit Donovan Noble. We do not want to see the bases get loaded here for the Oilmen, or we will see a very similar situation to yesterday. You know, in that situation when the ball gets popped up like that, after it hits the ground, you got to see someone take responsibility and run for the plate. The 1-0, another similar placement for the pitch, 2-0. Noble had to back off a little bit there.
And you made a great point about it, too, when you talked to Scott Hansen. A lot of these players haven't played together, so the chemistry isn't there. A lot of these teams haven't practiced together, so, you know, there's not really that trust that's been incorporated just yet, but it'll come along as the season goes forward.
The 2-0, once again, even closer to hitting Donovan Noble. That's 3-0. Things are starting to get interesting here in the bottom of the third. And if I'm Noble here, it's a huge red light. I am not swinging at anything he throws my way.
Oh, I agree. You want to get the bases loaded. You don't want to swing a bad 3-0 pitch and cost yourself a base.
3-0. And that is ball 4. I think Quinn thought that one was good enough for a strike, but Noble able to hold it off, and bases are loaded.
And this is a guy that I've been waiting to get hot, and Jake Ferry. Jake Ferry had a great year last year for the Oilmen, the team, and the opposing dugout for him. And he had a good swing of the bat last time, just underneath it, the tiniest of bit. And if I think he got on top of it more, it would have been driven into the right field gap and would have been the first extra base hit. But with the bases loaded, you want Jake Ferry to get himself some confidence right here. Hit one just like you did last time in the right field. And the best you could do right there, if you hit a ball like that, if it gets caught, so what? Tag up from third base, scoring a run, pick up your first RBI, and get the Corn Dogs on the board first. And the last game we saw, that worked out for him.
Ferry definitely needs to see things go his way here today. Well, he's at bat. The first pitch, and that's outside for ball 1.
Yeah, there's just no way that the Corn Dogs are going to swing at anything in the zone unless Ferry sees the pitch that he's looking for. And for him being a lefty, I'm going to think anything that's low and in where you can turn and burn on it and try to put it over the fence.
The 1-0. Swing and a miss from Ferry. Definitely looking to poke that one into the gap between left and center. And Ferry, one of the 3 teammates currently attending Moorhead State. So you know he has that bat talent. And he knows it too. I think he's just getting into his head a little bit at these at-bats. The 1-1, and that's outside for ball 2.
And the good news is, too, is in the at-bats that we have seen from Jake Ferry, he has put up some good quality ones and taken some tough pitches. So there's promising signs for the left-handed hitter. It's just putting it all together for him to have a good season in a blue and yellow uniform.
Here comes the 2-1. Hit. 2-2. Tries for the double play. Noble late. And they stay. 1 run scores for the Corn Dogs. Get the runner out at second. But the Corn Dogs are currently on top here.
Number 4, Tyler Schultz.
And that's a good quality AB from Jake Ferry. He reaches on the fielder's choice, but it's early in the count, 2-1, bases loaded. Your job is to get the runner in from third base. So he's looking to ambush something from Quinn. And right there, he saw a pitch down and in, just got on top of it, hit it to the right side, and picks up his first RBI. That one misses in tight to Tyler Schultz. Schultz struck out in his last at-bat against Quinn. And I'm thinking that's pretty tough for a right-handed hitter as Quinn works on that third base side and really comes over the top with those long levers that are his arms. 1-0. And it shaves off Tyler Schultz there for ball 2. Just everything that Quinn is throwing that misses has all been inside. We saw it to Donovan Noble. It was 3 straight inside, and he finally was able to throw one across the plate, but it was up high. 2-0, Ferry on the move. The throw is late, and there's the 8th stolen base for the Corn Dogs this season, and Jake Ferry's on the board with his own stolen base.
Jacob Ferry definitely getting a little bit of much-needed confidence here today, as he's now on second. 1 out for the Corn Dogs. Runners on second and third.
In the 3-0 count to Schultz. Might be taking here the pitch, and he does. That was right down the chute. Count will move to 3-1. Schultz is a good, patient hitter. He was on his own conference's all-honorable team. He did have a really good season at shortstop and playing the middle infield for the PNW Pride. Hitters count 3-1. The offering. It's back up the middle. It's going to be a tough play from Cannon. Throws over the first, makes it look easy. And a run scores. And that makes it 2-0, and that's Austin Ridgway who crossed the plate. So once again, good situational hitting from the Corn Dogs, being able to get ahead in the count and then hit something somewhere just to get that runner across the plate. And Tyler Schultz picks up the RBI there after he was thrown out, as he led his team in RBIs this past season, tied for 31. Hanson hits one in the right field, sinking fast, but finds the glove of Jason Hodges. But the Corn Dogs scored 2 runs on 1 hit. They drew a couple of walks, and there was no errors from the Oilmen. We go to the 4th. It's 2-0 Corn Dogs. Three innings have come and gone, and the Corn Dogs are leading 2-0. And as PharmaCann steps up to the box, it's a friendly reminder that Diversified Marketing Strategies is a full-service marketing agency that specializes in all forms of media and advertising. Are you ready to start a project with DMS? Visit us at thinkdiversified.com. PharmaCann at the plate, the pitch, and it's fouled straight back just to the right of our camera, positioned just behind home plate, and it's strike 1 to PharmaCann. PharmaCann in his last at-bat struck out looking at a very good breaking ball from Plezak. Deal gives the sign, the pitch. Ground ball left side. Schultz crashing in. He throws on the run. It's low, but Nanfeld is there. And there's the first out. Let's record that as a 6-3 putout and move PharmaCann to 0 for 2 on the day. Baker coming up to the plate now. Baker came into this game with a 167 average. He has 2 hits for his first 12 at-bats, now moved to 2 for 13. In his at-bat, he reached on an error from Papalava. It was that awkward play that hit the lip and went right through the legs of Papalava into left. This one's hit to the right, and it's Donovan Noble's turn, and he makes the play. He took his time, gathered himself, and delivered a chest-high throw to Nanfield. And there's 2 up and 2 down to start the top of the 4th inning. The Great Lakes Sports Hub, official training facility of the Lake County Corn Dogs, not just another dome. It was at the Great Lakes Sports Hub when the Corn Dogs were announced. The backdrop that's behind us was there. Ralph Flores was able to read up on what the team was going to be and what league they were joining. The pitch, down low, ball 1. And then the commissioner of the league, who also owns the Oilmen, Don Popovec, was there to talk about how huge it was going to be to have a team in Crown Point. And there's a strike to the new hitter, David Marshall. Oh, correction, Baker struck out swinging in his last at-bat. Marshall reached on the error. 1-1, down low, 2-1. So 2 ground balls this inning. The only infielder to did not touch it, that's not the first baseman, is Papalava on the third base side, who committed the error in Marshall's last at-bat. We'll see if he can redeem himself here. 2-1. Breaking ball that was hit on the top and to the backstop. 2-2.
No, it's a refreshing sight to see this last inning. Even though it was on some fielders' choices, they were still able to get runs, and they were able to get them not by getting hit by pitches and being walked.
Still looking for that extra base hit, though. The Corn Dogs are. 2-2 to Marshall. Marshall back in the box. Here it comes. Ground ball left side. It's a slow roller for Papalava, who cannot make the play. And with that, there's the first hit for the Oilmen today as Marshall hit straight into the ground. It was as good as a bunt. I don't know if you could have placed it any better. And Marshall reaches base for the second time today.
Hasn't really been looking like Papalava has found his rhythm out there at third yet. Not going to say that he looks uncomfortable, but I think he hasn't come into his own.
If he's playing back on that one, you see it right here where he's positioned. Not sure if you can check it out on the viewer at home, but from our angle, he's playing behind the bag at third base. And Marshall's hit to him twice. The new hitter is Hodges, and he takes one for a strike. Top of the zone, fastball. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner at first, 2-0 Corn Dogs. Just scored those pair of runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Papalava getting ready over there at third base. There's a pitch. It's down low, 1-1. And there, this is a tough play. We talked about it on Austin Ridgway's single in the infield. He hit it between 3 fielders, and no one talked, but for there, Papalava had a long way to go. The 1-1. Fouled off to the right, 1-2. For the 3rd straight inning, though, the Oilmen had a runner reach base. 2 errors by the Corn Dogs committed in back-to-back innings. 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. And then Marshall, with 2 outs, reaches on the infield single. Plesac works in the middle of the rubber. He is at the belt, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He fools Hodges with the fastball. And with that strikeout, that's the 4th for Frank Plesac. We're through 3.5. It's still the Corn Dogs 2 and the Northwest Indiana Oilmen nothing. second half of the fourth inning. And before we get started, Horizon Bank is a proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs. We provide online conveniences that support innovative solutions for your personal, commercial, and mortgage banking needs, as well as wealth and investment services. Visit horizonbank.com to learn more today. That's horizonbank.com to learn more today. Del Loden at the plate and Noel Ferry on the play-by-play.
Pitch, swing and a miss by Doug Loden. Once again, a big hack there. Loden's looking to get that power hit that we've spoken so much about so far. 0-1 the count. Not too much patience from Loden so far. We've seen a lot of patience from these guys, holding off on key pitches. The 0-1, swing and a miss, another one from Doug Loden. He has given it everything he's got out there.
He definitely swings out his shoes every time, not getting cheated at the plate. But he saw a good two-seam fastball, then he saw a good off-speed pitch. It looked like a circle changeup. We'll see if it goes back to that again.
Frank Quinn shaking off some signals. Loden needs some time. Readjusts.
Doug Loden was one of the players to appear on Catching Up the Corn Dogs, a podcast we did for players and fans to meet.
The 0-2, that's way outside, almost in the dirt for ball one.
And sometimes it's hard to find information online, so you usually have to go on the Twitter and do a little bit of stalking. I hate to put it that way, but that's what it feels like. And for Doug, he's a JUCO Pirate. So I asked him what that meant. And he goes, it just means that you work really hard and you're trying to get to the next level.
Way outside for ball two. 2-2 the count.
He goes, means you spend a lot of time in the gym, getting bigger and stronger. You're in the batting cages or throwing bullpens to improve. And I think Doug Loden's going to offer that energy to the guys and want to improve this summer because that's what it's all about in the Northern League.
Here comes the 2-2. Hit, almost caught by Frank Quinn. Shortstop unable to make the play there, and Doug Loden will reach. And that's got to feel good if you're Loden. Finally able to get something going for your career as a corn dog. Hit it right down that gap there. Tyler Famakanen and Nolan Rimkus unable to come together and make that play.
And Loden had a good approach there. He stays open for the first two strikes, and he's trying to do some damage. But once he gets to two strikes, he closes himself off a little bit and simplifies his swing. And right there, up the middle approach, and it buys himself a hit going. It wasn't the hardest hit ball. It's a bleeder in the center, but it gets the job done.
Paplava takes his first. Inside for ball one.
The good news is for the box score, it doesn't matter if you lined one at 110 in the right or hit a ground ball up the middle. It all goes down as a single.
Frank Quinn there, definitely had to make that decision. Almost hit there, and he is hit by the pitch there. Frank Quinn was playing a dangerous game with his pitches getting a little too close to the Corn Dogs, and finally he hits one. Corn Dogs have runners on first and second once again with no outs in the bottom of the fourth here, with Jaden Deal coming up to bat. But like I was saying, Frank Quinn, you have to make a decision there when that ball is hit towards you. Are you going to try to make a play, or are you going to let it go to your infielders and let them make something? And I think that he made his decision a little too late, and that confused both Famakanen and Rimkus out there. The first pitch to Deal. That's the corner for strike one, 0-1.
And it's a tough play for pitchers like that because he's falling off to his left because that's where momentum carries him. But then Loden was able to hit it to his right, and at that point, it can get tough to stop your momentum and try to go the opposite way and make that play.
The 0-1, swing and a miss from Deal. That was a full rotation there.
And I'd have to say that Quinn is easily the tallest pitcher we've seen in this league thus far.
Oh, definitely. Probably a dual sport athlete in high school, basketball. Probably used to a lot of comments about how tall he is, especially being a pitcher. He's keeping an eye on second base. The 0-2, that's dropped by Kyle Sarnecki. He's able to recover for ball one. No runners advanced there. Loden thought about it for a second. Once again, he's taking a big lead off second, but no one home to even make any sort of tag there. Deal at the plate. The 1-2. Swing and a miss for a strikeout. You know, Frank Quinn has given up some walks, hit a couple batters, but he's been delivering today for the Oilmen to a certain extent. He's got some strikeouts. I like what I'm seeing from him. It's just, he seems a little streaky out there. Once he gets into a groove where he's throwing too many walks, it's hard for him to pull himself out of it.
Yeah, and there's a couple of batters he's faced where he's just lost the release point, but there's others where he looks very good.
First pitch to Nanfeld for strike one. Just caught the outside of the zone there.
And I'm starting to think that maybe his two-seam fastball had a little bit more run than what he thought. He's having a hard time locating inside. And this is back-to-back hitters where he's gone to that outside corner and allowed the arm side run to work its way back in.
Keeping an eye on Loden at second. The 0-1. Nanfeld holds onto his swing there, and that's down in the dirt for ball two.
Now, I'm curious with you, Noel. Who is the tallest person that you've ever seen?
I've ever seen? Well, I've seen some NBA players in person a couple times, but it would have to probably go to Bears' former offensive lineman, Kyle Long. Here comes the 1-1, and that's outside for ball two.
How tall is Long?
I was in a Starbucks in Chicago with my friend during the NFL draft, and I see this massive individual getting a Starbucks coffee. And as he's leaving, I hear the barista say, "That's Kyle Long." And then it all makes sense. This 6'5", 300-pound man just walked in front of me. The 2-1, once again outside, 3-1 the count. It was really a sight to see. You don't realize how big those linemen are until you're up close and personal.
Yeah, the former first overall pick, I believe, from the University of Oregon to the Chicago Bears. The tallest player or person I've ever seen, and you mentioned NBA player, was Bill Cartwright, who was the center for the first 3 Chicago Bulls teams that won championships.
Here comes the 3-1. And Nanfeld able to hold off for ball 4. Once again, bases loaded for the Corn Dogs. 1 out, 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Austin Ridgway up to bat for the Corn Dogs.
And it was funny because we were in San Diego, of all places. In San Diego, about ready to fly home. And my parents, who watched the Chicago Bulls, said, "We think that's Bill Cartwright." So then they sent my sister up there, and I want to say my sister was around 5 years old at the time. And she just, neck all the way back looking up and asking, "Are you Bill Cartwright?" And he said, "Yes." And I'd have to do some digging to find the picture, but I believe that Bill Cartwright was listed as 7 foot when he played in the NBA. I know he played for the Knicks and the Bulls, but the best part about Bill Cartwright wasn't his height, but it was his unethical free throws. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they are a sight to see.
Did he throw them granny style?
No, that's Rick Barry. It was very interesting to watch him do free throws, but it worked. Yeah. It worked. He had struggled early on in his NBA career, but it panned out. He won 3 championships with Chicago, and he's had a very successful career.
Oilman had a quick visit with Frank Quinn. Catcher gets involved as well, but Austin Ridgway still up to bat. Here comes the first, and that's out and inside for ball 1. Almost at the feet of Austin Ridgway.
I was kind of curious who the tallest pitcher of all time is. It was a right-handed pitcher from the Mets named John Rock. You want to guess how tall he was?
I'd say 7'1", maybe?
I think you're a little bit too tall there.
Yeah, that's probably a little too tall for baseball. Here's the 1-0, and that's fouled off to the left.
He was 6'11".
Oh, only 2 inches off.
And earlier this year, it was Sean Hygiel, played for the Giants. He was 6'11". But Randy Johnson, easily the most well-known pitcher, was 6'10".
I wonder how much of a difference that makes for you. There's the 1-1, and that's driven into left field. Stays fair, and that will score 2 runs for the Corn Dogs. And here he comes rounding third. The throw to home, and he is out. Gonna stay for a triple there for Austin Ridgway. Finally, an extra base hit that we've been waiting for. That will score 2 for the Corn Dogs.
Phenomenal piece of hitting from Austin Ridgway right there. He stayed back and saw that outside two-seam fastball, drilled it down the line, and what a time to do it. Bases loaded, 2-0 ball game. You moved it to now 4-0, driving in 2 runs, and I love the aggressive call from Justin Heisman sending in Nanfeld. It had to be a perfect throw, and it was from Tyler Fama Cannon, so that's a 6-2 put out of Donovan Nanfeld. Actually, it'd be 7-6-2 put out of Donovan Nanfeld. And with that, Corn Dogs are up 4-0 with the top of their order. But he's still a runner at third base for Noble, and he hits one into right center field. Hedges going to his right, actually it's Hodges, and he makes the play for the third out. But not before the damage is done, where the Corn Dogs score 2 more runs to make this a 4-0 ball game going to the 5th. You don't want to go anywhere as we try to get Ralph Flores on the air here in the top of the 5th. It's still 4-0 Corn Dogs. Through 4 innings of play, and it's been all Corn Dogs thus far, as Frank Plazek is still on the mound going to his 5th inning of work. Before we get into the 5th inning, International Brotherhood of Electronical Workers, IBEW, Local 697, is a proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs. As one, we are limited, but as a group, we are strong. And join me up in the booth is not Noel Ferry this time. It's the Corn Dogs' proud owner, I'd put it, Ralph Flores. Ralph, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We got another beautiful night. The stands are packed with folks. The kids are playing, and what a great evening we have here.
Yeah, I missed it. What were they doing on the field before this inning started?
What do you mean?
Were the kids dancing on the field?
Kids, yeah, it was a dance contest for the kids, and Emma, unfortunately, her nerves got the best of her, and she couldn't get out there and do her thing. But Anthony did a great job, and
ground ball at the left side. Schultz moving to his left, a hop to him. He throws over to first and retires Cosenza on a 6-3 put on. A nice round of applause from Ralph Flores.
Absolutely.
We got one down. And you're right. I mean, it's been packed here for the first 2 games of the year. Could you imagine anything like this?
I imagined it on opening day. Honestly, I really expected the crowd that we had. Today surprised me, for sure. And pleasantly surprised, and it's just great to have the community behind us, and we're looking forward to a great summer. And
you even put that on your Facebook. You put a nice lengthy post about how you were very proud of the support and the building community through baseball. And there's a pitch for a strike to Zarnecki, and that's something you talked about. It wasn't the product on the field, but it was building this community around this ball club. And, I mean, they've had plenty to cheer about in these last 2 games.
Absolutely. You know, it started off with the mayor getting behind us.
0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2.
And having the confidence that we could get this done. And then once we were able to get out in the community, we had the business community get behind us. And then the social organizations getting behind us. And now the fans are getting behind us. It's been great.
Counts 0-2 with 1 out. Here comes the pitch. And a beautiful breaking ball from Plezak. He picks up another strikeout. That's 5 in this appearance.
He's dealing.
And you played college baseball, and you even had the number in your head as the game ended. saying that's 16 consecutive innings the Corn Dogs have now allowed to run. Right now, they are 1 out away from 21 consecutive innings with a bunch of goose eggs.
Exactly.
That would put a smile on your face.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Cabez is the new hitter.
Yeah, and when we were putting this roster together, I knew we were going to have a strong staff, but I was really excited about the offensive side. I thought we were going to be just exploding every game, and that hasn't happened yet. So when that happens and you team that up with the pitching that we have going on, it could get dangerous.
Yeah, back and 0-2. And right before you got on air, Austin Ridgway delivered a huge knock down the line for the first extra base hit in Corn Dogs history. And it came out a huge time with the bases loaded and drove in 2 runs, make it 4-0.
Absolutely. Austin is an interesting guy. He wasn't actively recruited by us. He reached out to us and was persistent. And his
Dribbler up to Jaden Deal. The catcher throws over the first, and that's now 21 consecutive innings of scoreless baseball from the Corn Dogs pitching. When we come back, we'll have Ralph Flores still on the headset because he has plenty to say. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 4-0 Corn Dogs. Bottom of the 5th inning, Corn Dogs up 4-0. And a friendly reminder that Ironworkers Local 395 is a proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs. Local 395 continues to forge and maintain strong partnerships with owners and contractors. Here's the pitch inside. Based on our commitment to provide excellent craftsmanship through safety, productivity, reliability, and training. And we have a broadcaster's change. Instead of owner Ralph Flores, we have the congressman of the 1st District, Frank Marvan. And Frank, welcome to the broadcast.
Andrew, thank you so very much. What a great day. What a great day for baseball. What a great day for the region.
Now, were you here for opening night a few nights ago, or is this your first Corn Dogs game?
This is my first Corn Dogs game. It's a wonderful experience. There's families. There's, this is what the region's all about, bringing people together and making sure that we're focused on families during Memorial Day weekend. It's just an awesome, awesome thing to be a part of.
Then I was told before you hopped on here that you're going to play in the very first ever congressional baseball game and wear Corn Dog stuff.
That is correct. So last year we were part of the team and we wore a Gary Railcats jersey. This year we're absolutely going to get in the game and we're going to have the Corn Dogs uniform and hat on. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
looking forward to it.
Have you been provided the uniform yet?
I have not.
Not yet.
But it is. the game's July 28th. So I have the hat, but I'm sure they'll get me the uniform, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's a pop up to right center, a nice grab by the oil man. So that is one out.
That was Jason Hodges, and a good call, a good first play-by-play from you.
Well, while I'm here, I might as well do something.
Yeah,
right? Have
yeah.
a function.
For your first time ever broadcasting a game, which I'm assuming you did a great job with it.
Thank you. And Andrew, how'd you get started in this?
I started out when I was about 8 years old. I wanted to do something like this. I was always a shy kid, but I worked all these games here.
Nice.
Kind of like the same setup. There's the ball down low to Tyler Schultz, who's up after the flyout from Jake Ferry. So having all these people here has really been encouraging for the
Sure.
forward of this commitment. I grew up in Winfield, about 20 minutes away, but attended Crown Point High School, and there's a place down the line.
What's
1-1.
great about this is obviously me and the owner, Ralph Flores, are good friends, and it's just great to see that the stands are packed with people and families. People are bringing their kids out, and there's a lot of camaraderie and people talking between the oilmen and obviously the corn dogs, and it's just great to be here tonight. It's seen a lot of friends, people from high school I haven't seen for decades.
Really?
Are here. There are people, friends that I went to Bishop Knoll with, that their children are playing on the corn dogs, and some even on the oilmen. So it's a great day.
And what position did you play when you were playing baseball?
So I'm playing first base. I played outfield in high school, and now I'm playing first base for the congressional team.
So you got to work on your picks from any
correct.
balls that get down low.
I have John Southsider is my coach, so he has me doing hitting 3 times a week. I have to get together with him, and one of the unique things is he got me a wooden bat. He won't let me use an aluminum bat, so every member of Congress uses an aluminum bat, and John Southsider is making me utilize a wooden bat. So I look forward to it. The game's a great time, and it raises money for charity.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it raised about $1 million last year, and so
Wow.
we anticipate doing that again this year.
And where's the game played at?
It's at National Stadium.
Oh, wow. 3-2. Swing and a
Yeah,
miss. Strike 3.
It's played at the Major League Stadium. And last year, which was unique, is the Democrats play the Republicans, and there was a Republican member of Congress who hit a dinger.
Really?
Oh yeah, popped it. Nice shot out into left field, and the game ended up being 12-14. And the last inning, we had runners on first and second, and we had an out, and that was the end of the game. So we look forward to hopefully bringing back the trophy to the other side, to the Democratic side.
You're getting some revenge in this year's ball game after losing a tough one last year.
Yeah.
And the home run in left field is a lot more impressive in Nationals Park because right field is shorter.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
was
a
a
cheated
shot.
home run. Yeah.
Even though it was the guy on the other team, it was a shot.
You have
The
to
guy, I
respect
think
it.
He's like 46, 47. He's he's not a major league athlete, and he took one out of the field. So all of us were in awe of that.
Do you have any chances of driving one out of the ballpark?
I have no chance.
No chance.
Andrew. And we might as well be upfront about it right now.
At least you're honest. At least you're
Right.
very honest about
I
it.
think that's a good skill set to have.
Maybe you can just hit one into the gap and get a double.
I want to do my part. Like you said, scoop up a couple balls, get a couple hits, enjoy myself.
You talked about the community, and that's what Ralph really hit the nail on the head with when the team was announced back in January, was building community through baseball, correction.
Right.
And you've seen a lot of people tonight, and you said you've seen a few high school alums out here with you.
Correct. So I attended Bishop Knoll for 1 year, and then I went to Morton High School, and there were four people that I saw: Sheriff Paklansky, Diane Wendell, and Natalie Dybell. Obviously, they have different married names, but Natalie has a son who's playing on the Corn Dogs, and they're a great family from Lake Central, her and Tracy. And ultimately, like I said, it's just a great thing to bring this type of, for lack of a better term, entertainment to our community. And here I am, Memorial Day weekend on a Saturday.
There's a ground ball to
enjoying
short.
baseball.
Fama Cannon throws over the first, but not in time, as Scott Hansen lays down an infield single. Some good wheels from Hansen.
So there's 2 outs, runners on first. There's always an opportunity, right?
Exactly, and Scott Hansen played at South Suburban College. When he was there, he stole 25 bases and only got caught 3 times. And I think you and me can both agree is that we probably couldn't even steal 2 bases if we tried.
That is absolutely correct. And that's if we were,
Giving a good
right.
head start.
Right. So we'll have to pay attention to that.
Especially with 2 outs. I mean, Corn Dogs are trying to manufacture a run here, and Doug Loden.
What do you think? Are they going to send him?
I think if he can get a good jump, he would try to take off for second base and try to set up Doug Loden, who has good power on the left side of the left-handed hitter.
Oh, took a couple steps. Yep. Scores 4-0, and it is the top of the 5th?
Bottom of the 5th.
Bottom of the 5th.
Bottom of the 5th.
See, when you get older, your eyes start fading away. Nope.
Yeah, it's driven into right. Hodge is going back. He stops, and he makes the play to end the inning. Well, Congressman, we thank you for joining us on the Corn Dogs broadcast, and we hope to see you around more often.
Great pleasure, and to everyone, have a wonderful weekend. And Memorial Day is all about those who had sacrificed for our freedoms. Please remember those families and those ideals that we have to protect our freedoms, those that sacrifice the ultimate sacrifice for us. And to you, Andrew, do a great job, and thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
this
Thank
opportunity.
you. With those kind words, we go to the 6th. Corn Dogs up 4-0. Top of the 6th inning from Legacy Fields in Crown Point, Indiana. Andrew Mile with Noel Ferry once again. We'll hand it off to Noel, who will do the play-by-play. And sorry about the camera. A foul ball hit it, and it's frozen up right now. I didn't realize it till now, and we'll go and fix it before the bottom of the 6th inning. So here you go, Noel.
Thank you, Andrew. Good to be back. We heard from 2 great guests as Jaden Deal wants to have a conversation with his pitcher, Frank Plezak, who has been having a great game so far. Held the Oilmen scoreless. Nolan Rimkus at the plate. Had to clarify some signals there.
What's it doing?
Frank Plezak looking to deliver his first to Nolan Rimkus. Clarifying the signals. Here comes the first, and that's way up high for ball 1.
I wonder if it died.
After a visit like that, clarifying things, it can be hard for pitchers to get back into their rhythm. Here comes the 1-0, and that's down low for ball 2. Plezak, you haven't really seen him struggle too much today with getting the count against him. But after a little bit of miscommunication here from him and Deal, we might be seeing that as of right now. Here comes the 2-0. Fouled straight back by Rimkus. Fans have to watch out here at Legacy Fields. We've got no protection covering their heads here in the stands. But definitely got to keep them on their toes. Luckily for me and Andrew, we're here protected in the press box, but with an open window, so you never know. If something comes with the right angle, we could be in trouble. Here comes the 2-1. Strike 2 called. I think Rimkus disagreed with that call a little bit there. He was a bit surprised by that call.
You're looking at the shot before the camera went down. I have to say it's pretty cool. Baseball coming right into your living room.
Right in the center of the frame. We'll check the damages of the GoPro, and that is strike 3 called for Frank Plezak. Another one.
Number 1, Dom Curcio.
Here comes Dom Crucio up to plate for the Oilmen, looking to get something, anything going. Frank Plezak having a great game, continuing his stretch of dominance from that inning that he pitched against the Vikings earlier this week. Here comes the first pitch to Crucio. Strike 1 called. And Frank Plezak appears to be back in his rhythm. Switching between those fastballs, those breaking balls, and those changeups. Plezak collects himself. Here comes the 0-1. And that changeup is deadly. There's 0-2 for Dom Crucio. And just from what we've seen from the Oilmen these past 2 days, I almost wonder if it's uncharacteristic because of how good they've been playing for this season and in their history as a team. We have not seen too much life from the Oilmen these past 2 games. The 0-2 fouled off to the left. Hits the fence right in front of the fans. And that'll wake you up if you're resting your eyes. Had some family here the other day. Had to keep their eyes in the skies for any foul balls that were coming down. And just a friendly reminder, at Ivy Tech, Lake County, proud partner of the Lake County Corn Dogs, Ivy Tech, higher education that's built around you. Serving all Lake County with locations in Crown Point, East Chicago, and Gary. Visit ivytech.edu/Lake County to sign up today. Crucio had to take a second there to collect himself after that foul ball. He's back up now.
You gotta get a new piece of lumber. The other one broke and will be used in the community fire after this.
We've seen a couple broken bats in these past 2 games. Here's the 0-2. That's hit into left field, but Schultz is there. Correction, Scott Hansen is there to make that play, and that's just routine for him.
Now batting for the Oilmen, number 26, Tyler
Hansen, one of the better fielding percentages on the team thus far. We've seen some great plays from him, but he's just a very reliable person to have out there in your outfield. And that's been a crucial component for the Corn Dogs here. Not only has the pitching been great, but the infielders, outfielders, everyone surrounding has been so reliable that these pitchers can remain comfortable. Here comes the first pitch, fouled off by Tyler Fomakanen. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, and it looked like that Crucio had a good plan at the plate, trying to go the opposite way, but didn't catch the barrel, the meat of the bat, and it just slowly went its way into Hansen's glove.
0-1, and that's hit straight to Tyler Schultz, a bit bouncy. He collects himself and makes the easy throw to first to end the inning for the Corn Dogs. The 6-3 out, and we will be right back at the bottom of the 6th inning.